Sallataangi manantamachinthyam Smaretapasai sargapurvasthitam tam Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Kurange turange mrugendre khagendre Marale madebhe mahokshe dhirudham Mahatyam navamyam sada samarupam Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Jvalatkantivanhim jaganmohanangim Bhaje manasambhoja subhranta bhringim Nijastotra sangita nritya prabhangim Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Bhavam bhojanitra pujyamanam Lasan mandahasa prabhavaktra chinnham Chalachanchala charutatanka karnam Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Bhaje Sharadamba majasram madamba Namaskaram. Namaskaram everyone. I hope I'm audible clearly. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for audio confirmation and then we'll get started. Still members joining in. Rukmini ji, namaskaram. It's been a while. Namaskaram. Hope you're well. Audible. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Yes, namaskaram. Wonderful. Thank you for the confirmation, guys, regarding the audio. Just give me another minute. We'll start at 8:03 p.m. We have some exciting topics to cover this evening. There's still some people trying to join in. Finding some trouble in joining in. Let me help them. Thank you so much, Shriramji. All the new members, welcome. And if you are in those tier 3 and above where you have these perks of joining us live on Zoom, you can join us there. And just give me another minute. There we are. Password for Zoom, you will find it in your membership tiers post either on YouTube or on patreon.com. The last week's live stream that we had, the password was open for all because that course was open for all. This is open for all. I mean, the video will also be public. But to interact with me in person, we have reserved that to only our members in tier 3 and above, so that I do not have to field too many questions or pay individual attention to everyone. Just give me another minute, guys. Yes, there we are. All right, now that is set, you should be able to join in now, guys. Whoever is in the tier 3 and above members in both Patreon and YouTube. It is 8:03 p.m. already, so without further delay, let's get started with these exciting topics that we have to cover in today's session. So first thing that we are going to cover is about the 4 Navaratris that occur in a year. Is my video flickering on and off for you guys? Looks like the exposure is on, maybe the shawl is too bright. But anyway, so there are 4 Navaratris. All of us know about the big one, the Sharada Navaratris or the Durga Navaratris, the Devi Navaratris that happen during October, November, that season, during the season called Sharad Rutu in Sanskrit terminology. But like Sharada Navaratris, there are 4 other Navaratris, 9 nights of the Divine Feminine. We'll look at why that is, the cosmic significance behind it, and we'll try to understand it in detail. And then from that we'll get an understanding of what Vasanta Panchami as a festival is, which is coming up in less than a week. 23rd of January 2026 is Vasanta Panchami, and we'll then look at why Vasanta Panchami is considered significant for the goddess of learning and knowledge and clarity and wisdom. Why that is, we'll look at, and it becomes clearer to us. We'll get some clarity on why Vasanta Panchami is the festival for goddess Saraswati or Shyamala or Matangi or Sharada, the goddess of learning, who is known in many different names. We'll look at why this day is significant for her. Also, last year during the same time, or the year before that, we had published the rendition of Shyamala Dandakam by Kalidasa on the occasion of Vasanta Panchami itself. And that Shyamala Dandakam is, of course, on goddess Shyamala. That is one of the most potent chants on goddess Saraswati, but in a very fierce form as Shyamala. You can check that out if you have not done so already. But for this Vasanta Panchami 2026, we have selected Sharada Bhujangam, which is yet another chant on the goddess of learning, but in her manifestation as goddess Sharada. You might have heard the name Sharada before, the manifestation of goddess Shakti as the goddess of learning at Kashmir. One of the Kashmir Shakti Pitha was Sharada Pitha. So some of you might have heard this shloka, Namaste Sharade Devi Kashmira Puravasini, as a shloka. But that Pitha, which was originally in Pakistan, which was originally in Kashmir, is now lost to us because of partition and that country becoming primarily Islamic. So the temple is now in ruins. But her manifestation, Shakti's manifestation as Sharada, is still vibrantly worshipped, and that tradition is alive. And the most vibrant tradition still being in the Dakshinamnaya Sharada Pitham, which is one of the 4 cardinal mathas, traditions that AdiShankaracharya himself set up before he left his body. And the southernmost, the west being Dwaraka, the east being Puri, the north being Jyotirmat or Joshimat, as it is called now, near Kedar, and the southern one is the Sharada Pitha of Shringeri in Karnataka. So this Sharada Bhujangam is AdiShankaracharya's composition of 8 shlokas on this manifestation of goddess Shakti as Sharada, the goddess of learning, which is what our crux of this live stream is. We'll be learning those 8 shlokas, 8 powerful chants on goddess Sharada, and we'll look at what the poetic meter is, what the rhythm which is inherent in the lyric of this composition itself is, and there are a couple of tunes in which these lyrics can be rendered. We have actually covered multiple other compositions before on this channel which are in this poetic meter called Bhujanga Prayatam. Any of them could be used for this chant as well, but I went with a new one. But if you want to go with any of the old ones, you can go do that as well. Anyway, so that is a quick overview of what we have planned for this evening. And if it spills over, it is the same Zoom link and a different YouTube link, of course, for tomorrow evening's live stream as well. If we cannot cover all the 8 shlokas, these 8 are 4-line shlokas. We will try to go at it as deeply as we can. But these are simple in their expression. They are not as poetically or lyrically complex as maybe Shivatandava Stotram or Kanakadhara Stotram. These are pretty straightforward in their expression. So depending on that, we might extend this session to tomorrow as well. But before that, I told you guys that there are 4 Navaratris, not just one big Sharada Navaratris or Durga Navaratris at the end of the year, but throughout the year, there are multiple celebrations of the Divine Feminine, Goddess Shakti, at the transition periods of different seasons. All festivals, all celebrations of Sanatana Dharma are linked to the creation and the nature around us and how they impact the human system and how we can leverage those transition periods happening in creation for our own growth. Naturally, even the 4 Navaratris are designed or curated, are observed and around seasons and seasonal shifts. Observed is a very interesting word here because they are observed as in worshipped and followed, and also noticed and perceived that this is how the nature of creation is. After that observation, we observe a festival. So these 4 seasons, what they are, we'll look at. So basically, we all know that seasons happen due to Earth's rotations around the sun. And here is the moon. These are their orbits. This is moon's orbit around the earth, and that one there is Earth's orbit around the sun. So far, it's clear. This diagram is the most obvious. There is sun at the center. We always known that sun is at the center, and Earth rotates around the sun. And this rotation basically causes seasons. So far, we are all aware of it. And these positions of the Earth across, as Earth moves along this orbit, is measured and perceived across a background of very, very, very distant stars whose positions, as we observe them, remain relatively fixed because they are so far away. Even if they have their own motions, all these stars they are also revolving, rotating and moving in cycles of their own, but they are so far away from us that their own rotations, revolutions here is not perceivable to us. They look as if they are fixed in one point of space, and because of their fixated appearance, we get a reference point to measure our own positions across this orbit. This is also clear. So this is the reference circle, and because as there is the sun and there is Earth that moves around the sun, this forms a kind of a plane. The background reference is also kind of a disc, kind of an appearance that all right, this is the background. This is the repeating same set of stars and their clusters, which we seem to move against, which the sun also seems to move against as we move. So this reference is also fixed, and this reference width or band of stars and their clusters called as constellations. The stars and their clusters are called nakshatras and rashis. There are 12 such clusters we have noticed, and 27 such individual stars which are placed into these 12 clusters. How does 27 fit into 12? We divide that 27 into 9 after multiplying it with 4. So we do 27 into 4, dividing each of these nakshatras into 4 padas. We'll get 108 padas. Once we divide that 108 by 9, assigning 9 padas to each rashi, it will fit neatly into 108 divided by 9 being 12. So 9 padas in each rashi, and that 9 into multiplied by 27 gives us this 27 into 4 gives us 108, and that divided by 9 gives us 12. This is also clear. So we'll look at this whole rotation is divided into 12 such segments, which are clusters of stars. Even if you don't want to understand the 27 where it figures in, you can just understand that this reference band of stars are clustered into 12 each, and each of these 12 has a unique name called as a masa or a month, depending on what cluster we seem to perceive the sun against. That is also clear. Now, two of these months are clustered together to form one season. So there are 6 seasons in Bharatiya climate, this weather zone. We have 6, not just summer, winter, autumn, summer, rainy, winter, springs, whatever. The English, whatever we have heard, has 4. There are 4 seasons just in those kind of climates. But in Indic region, this India and the climate here, the tropical climate, we have identified 6 ritus in Sanskrit terminology, with 2 months placed in each of them. So we have one season every 2 months. So these 6 seasons are named Grishma, which is summer, Varsha, Sharad, Hemanta, Shishira, and Varsha. Sharad, Hemanta, Shishira, Grishma, Varsha, and there is one more I'm forgetting. Vasanta. I think I forgot Vasanta. All right. There is a shloka also which helps us remember this. If I have not said Vasanta before, it's Grishma, Varsha, Hemanta, Shishira, Vasanta, and Sharad. So these 6 seasons, and whenever there is a transition of these seasons, they have noticed 9 particular waxing phases of the moon, which occur at 4 of such seasons, and said these correspond to the nature of the feminine, divine feminine of a particular nature happening at this particular season. So there is one Shishira Navaratris, there is Vasanta Navaratris, there is Varsha Navaratris, and Sharad Navaratris. So if you want to understand it based on English seasonal names, Shishira can be like peak winter, and before that is Hemanta, which is kind of pre-winter. Now we are in peak winter. After winter, it kind of, the weather gets warmer, everything blossoms. There is, I think, spring. Vasanta is spring. And after Vasanta, we get even harsher sun, and there is Grishma, which is summer. After that intense heat of summer, there is Varsha, which is rainy. And after Varsha, there is Sharad, which is kind of like a fall kind of a season. After the rains are there, trees, everything shed their leaves, and there is new fresh blossoms after that again. So you see 4 seasons on the screen here: Shishira, Vasanta, Varsha, and Sharad. Apart from that, there are 2 more which are missing here, which are Grishma and Hemanta. You add Grishma and Hemanta to this list, you get 6. And Grishma and Hemanta have their own unique festivals. But these transition periods which correspond to Shishira, Vasanta, Varsha, and Sharad, these seasons have their own Navaratris. These Navaratris are also named based on the months that they usually appear in. Shishira Rutu begins with Magha Masa. This is the second one, name is the month. So this Navaratri, the first Navaratri is called Shishira Navaratri or Magha Navaratri. The second Navaratri is called Vasanta Navaratri or Chaitra Navaratri. Vasanta being the Rutu, season, and Chaitra being the Masa or month. And Varsha Navaratris, the rainy Navaratris, are also called Ashadha Navaratris because Ashadha is the month that corresponds to it. And Sharan Navaratris or Sharada Navaratris at the end, that season corresponds to Ashvayuja Masa. They are also called Ashvayuja Navaratris. They have one final name which is based on the form of Shakti which is being worshipped in that Navaratri. This is the more common terminology, like Durga Navaratris for the Navaratris during Sharad Rutu, Varahi Navaratris or Gupta Navaratris for Varsha Rutu Navaratris, Lalita Navaratris during Vasanta Rutu, and Shyamala Navaratris during Shishira Rutu, which is what is coming up on 19th. In another 3 days, we have the onset of Shyamala Navaratris or Shishira Navaratris or Magha Navaratris, each name having its own significance. All three refer to the same set of 9 nights. And this whole setup, this whole situation, this whole occurrence that happens at a cosmic scape is observed and followed and celebrated in Sanatana Dharma by the names of these festivals. And as we celebrate Shishira, Magha, Shyamala Navaratris, there is also this, each night of the 9 nights of the Divine Feminine, there is one particular form of Shakti which is worshipped. Prathamam, there is Brahmacharini, there is Kushmanda, Skandamata. We've seen this in Sharada Navaratri sequence. There are these Nava Durgas, as they call it. So in each of these 9 nights, there is one particular Prathamam Shailaputri. So Shailaputri being the first one. Like that, there is different names in which the Mother or the Shakti is worshipped. So we've already covered those. So you will see those kinds of shlokas also coming up on the internet. But based on this, you know now what is behind, what is at play at a cosmic scape for these festivals to happen. Each of these Navaratris have a special day in between, which is the 5th day or 5th waxing phase, because all of these, once you decide which section of these 12, then those 9 days in that month are calculated based on the phases of the moon. The count starting from the first day after Amavasya, the no moon or the new moon night. The first phase of the moon after that is called Pratipada, and the next one is Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, and the 5th one is Panchami. And the 5th phase of the night is Panchami, and there is a special deity or one particular form of Goddess Durga who is worshipped on that 5th night. So this on this particular Shishira Navaratris, that 5th phase of the moon, 5th night, is called Vasanta Panchami. The 5th night here is called Vasanta Panchami, but the Vasanta Ritu is coming up next. But that Panchami is something else. The Panchami indicates what's coming up next. So because Vasanta Ritu is going to come up, Shishira, we are almost at the transition of Shishira, and we are looking forward to Vasanta. So Vasanta Panchami is what is coming up on 23rd of January, after 5 days after the Navaratris, of the onset of Navaratris in this season. I hope this is clear. If you have any questions about this, we can look at it now. Clear? All right. Perfect. All right. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you. My pleasure. All right. Now that you are clear about this, Vasanta Panchami that is going to come up, which corresponds to the Shishira or the Magha or the Shyamala Navaratris which are going to come up, corresponds to the worship of Goddess Saraswati or Goddess Sharada or Goddess Shyamala, which is the many names in which the goddess of knowledge, wisdom, clarity, perception is manifest. And her abodes are plenty. She is manifest in many, like across multiple districts of Bharat. We see multiple forms of goddess Saraswati. This particular deity that we have chosen to celebrate for this 2026 Vasanta Panchami for ourselves is goddess Sharada at Shringeri. You see the location of Shringeri down there. That is where AdiShankaracharya established the southernmost of the mathas. That among the 4 cardinal places of Sanatana Dharma that he had established across Bharat. The one that you see pointed on the map there of India is Shringeri or Shringagiri. It is a place with history that traces back to Ramayana and before. And the names of the river Tunga that flows there and the Bhadra river that flows just a few kilometers further down south, and their intersection point at a place called Kudala and Shivamogga just a little up north, and from there this Tunga and Bhadra flowing together as Tunga Bhadra. This is all that's an extremely rich belt in Karnataka, rich in terms of both natural resources, the fertility of the land, and also spiritually rich in terms of the temples and the culture there. So we in this session are going to celebrate goddess Sharada. Interestingly enough, her name Sharada you will also find in the Sharad Rutu. That Sharad Rutu and Sharada Devi are also, they say this, share the same name. Sharad Rutu got its name because that multiple reasons. One is that Sharada, Sharad and Shri. We all know the word Shri. All of them, that Shara sound, Shri, Sharada and Sharad share the same sounds. Even share has that. I don't know if share has anything to do with it. Most probably not. But I don't know. Maybe there is. Come from the same root sound Shri, which means a flow of energy, kind of an upsurge. And this is what that Shri represents as a sound. You can feel that in the sound itself, that Shri represents an upward movement of energy, a flow of energy. And also Sharad Rutu got its name because Sharada is also named for a white lotus, and also it represents clarity. That season is named Sharada because it is the season that comes just after Varsha or rainy, and that is the season when all the clouds have melted, rains have poured down, the skies are all clear, and that clarity is represented as Sharad Rutu because the night skies are clear. And it is also during that season when the night skies are so clear because of because the rainy clouds have all been spent. The Purnima that occurs during Sharad Rutu, which is the clearest, brightest, very nice, shiny, without any clouds kind of full moon night, is also the Rasa Purnima. That is the Purnima of Sharad Rutu, where Krishna celebrated to hold his Rasa Leela on the banks of Yamuna. It's a season that has its own significance, Sharad Rutu, because of its clarity. And goddess Sharada is the one who gives the clarity of perception. That is why she is called Sharada, because she gives the same level of clarity of perception once the dark clouds of ignorance have melted and faded away. So that is another explanation for the same name. Yet another etymological explanation, the root being that Shri sound, of which Sharada and Shri are offshoots. So with that little more understanding of the meaning of what Sharada is and where its roots are from, let us go to the first shloka of Sharada Bhujangam. Before I chant the shloka itself, I want to touch upon the rhythm in which this shloka has been composed. The name of the composition itself is Sharada Bhujanga Prayata Ashtakam, or in short, Sharada Bhujangam. Now, Bhujanga Prayata, in the name itself, Bhujanga Prayatam. Bhujanga Prayatam. Na 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 na. This each line has that same rhythm. It goes one short sound, followed by 2 long sounds, and 4 of such repetitions. Na na na, na na na, na na na, na na na. So 4 seems to be the theme for today. So there are 4 repetitions of na na na. Suvaksho jakumbham sudhapurna kumbham prasada valambam prapunya valambam na na na, na na na, na na na, na na na. So that 4 times repetition of na na na. We have already seen this in multiple chants. Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham is also Bhujanga Prayatam. Shariram surupam yathava kalatram is also Bhujanga Prayatam. Namo bhutanatham namo deva devam, that is also Bhujanga Prayatam. Each of these have very different tunes. There are more in Bhujanga Prayatam, which is the meter with 4 repetitions of na 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 na. But for this one, there is a little, this is a very simple tune and a little more heartfelt chant that is more appropriate to worship a motherly manifestation of Goddess Saraswati. So we'll be using that. So I will now chant the first shloka of Sharada Bhujangam. Please pay as much attention to it as possible. Then we'll learn to pronounce the individual words. Then we'll look at the word by word meanings through our unique layer-wise arrangement of the words of the shloka. Then at the end, when I chant it one more time, you can join along with me in the chant. And we will do this until 9:30. Or if you want a break in between, you can let me know and we can continue this tomorrow as well. And those who are with us on Zoom, again, members, feel free. I know a lot of members have joined in because of the course. And we do have a new course which has been in demand for a long time. And last week we had the inaugural live stream. This Sunday we'll have the first formal class where I'm going to take you through. We've already seen the syllabus, but the first section of the syllabus, which are the Dhyana Shlokas of sage Vyasa and the Veda Adhyayana Murtis and the Veda Murtis themselves, we'll look at all of these Dhyana Shlokas and then next go towards Shanti Mantras. So I had given you the whole syllabus of how we want to approach the Vedic studies in the last live stream. That is still public. You can check that live stream after this if you wish to. That the live stream recording is still available on our channel, so you can check that out. And if you want to register, and registrations are still ongoing and they'll never kind of stop, and there is no real end date also, because this is an experimental thing where I want to see how many people can actually pick it up through this kind of a medium. So you can still register. We are still onboarding students. Like 1 hour ago, there should have been another series of mails that should have gone out to new registrations. And anyway, all our members would have gotten their own classroom links. So this whole thing is going on. So if you wish to, you can avail that as well. With that, let me now chant the first shloka of Sharada Bhujangam. Suvaksho jakumbham sudhapurna kumbham prasada valambam prapunya valambam sadasyendu bimbam sadanoshtabimbam Bhaje Sharadambam Ajasram Madambam Bhaje Sharadambam Ajasram Madambam. So, very simple tune. Na 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 na. So very simple, heartfelt tune. So instead of doing Mano Buddhya Hankara Chittani, which could also be done to this shloka, Suvaksho Jakumbham Sudhapurna Kumbham Prasada Valambam, we could go that way. But the meaning that this has is not apt for, and that tune is not apt for this kind of a meaning. So we'll go with this slow lilting simple tune. Now, let's look at how to pronounce the individual words of the shloka. The first word here is pronounced as Suvakshoja Kumbham. You can pronounce it along after me. Make sure that you're pronouncing that bha as a mahaprana sound. Suvakshoja Kumbham. The next word is Sudha Purna Kumbham. Dha is a mahaprana sound and bha is also a mahaprana sound. This word here is split as Prasada Avalambam. The whole thing is Prasadavalambaam. The next word is Prapunya Avalambam. Prapunyavalambam. Make sure that you're pronouncing it as Punya with the tongue rolled back. Na, Punya, not Punya. This word is split as Sada Asya Indu Bimbam. When all these words come together, it forms Sadasyendu Bimbam. The next word is a little fascinating. It could be split in multiple ways. For now, let us split it as Sadana Oshtha Bimbam. It also could be Sat Ana Oshtha Bimbam or Sada Ana Oshtha Bimbam. All of them have their own unique different meanings. But for now, Sadana Oshtha Bimbam is Sadanoshtha Bimbam. Bhaje. This whole word is a combination of three individual words. Sharada Ambam Ajasram. Sharadambam Ajasram. The last word here is, it can be split as Mat Ambam. They form Madambam when spoken at once. Let's do it line by line also. This is what we usually do. It's been a long time since we've done this kind of a session. So I'll do it line by line. You can repeat each line after me. Suvakshoja Kumbham Sudha Purna Kumbham Prasadavalambaam Prapunyavalambam Sadasyendu Bimbam Sadanoshtha Bimbam Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. You'll notice that this last line is common for all the shlokas of this stotram. So all of them end with this line, Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. So if we understand that one line, 25% of all shlokas we understand. So as we usually do, let us split the phrases in the shloka into this layer-wise arrangement, which conveys visually the relationship between the phrases in the shloka. The main phrase right here, this is what the composer wants to convey. This is the main idea in the shloka. And any other set of words which add more context and meaning to that phrase are arranged one level below it. And any other phrases which add more, which are directly connected and add more context to this phrase, are stacked here. And if any of these have other words which add further context to those are stacked further below those. But here there are these 6 phrases which all add meaning to this one, which add meaning to this one. But what is the main idea that is being conveyed? Ajasram Bhaje. Ajasram is without a break, always. Bhaje, I worship. Whom do I always worship? Mat Ambam. Mat is my, Amba is mother. Mat Ambam, my mother. Who is that Mat Ambam? Sharada Ambam. The mother goddess Sharada. Madambam, Sharadambam. My mother, Mother Sharada, I always worship. Now, how else is that Mother Sharadamba? That is described in all these 6 words. And those who are regular learners, those who have been watching our content for a while know that one of the hints to know that these phrases are related to this phrase is their endings are all the same. You see, Kumbham, Avalambam, Indubimbam, all of those. So they're all ending in am. So and ambam here. So they're all related. How is the mother? This is from, and he's calling her the mother. So it is from the perspective of her child. So how is the child AdiShankaracharya looking at his mother, Mother Sharada? Su Vakshoja Kumbham. She is his mother who nourishes him in plenty. He's saying she is the one whose breasts, whose bosom are like pitchers, like pots. A beautiful Su is beautiful. Vaksha is the chest area. Vakshoja is that which grows from the chest area, which are the breasts. And Kumbha are pots. And my Mother Sharada's breasts are like beautiful pitchers that nourish, that provide sustaining milk for her child. And how else is Mother Sharadamba? Sudha Purna Kumbham. In one of her hands, she is holding another pot which is filled with Sudha, or immortal nectar. That juice of life, of realization that gives us immortality is Sudha. And she is holding a pot which is filled with Sudha. She is also Prasada Avalambam. Avalambana is a support. Prasada is grace, or it's also knowledge. So she is the source or the support for all knowledge systems in creation. Prasada Avalambam. And she is the source of grace itself. Punya Avalambam. Punya are good deeds, virtues, kinds of deeds that uplift us. And she is the support of all good deeds and virtues in the world as well. Sada Asya Indu Bimbam. Indu is the moon. Bimba is it can be thought of as a disc or a circular shape. So Indu Bimba is the fullness of the moon, and her face is like a full moon, is like that of a moon which is always full. Her face is always like a full moon, but the full moon goes through different phases, waxing and waning, but she is somebody who's always has the face of a full moon. Sada Asya. Asya is the face. Sadasya Indu Bimbam becomes Sadasya Indu Bimbam. And this last word, Oshtha, are the lips. Bimba, another meaning for Bimba is a kind of a fruit. It's a vegetable more like, which when ripened becomes extremely red in color. Bimba Phala, they call it. And that Sa-ana also means a face. So this word Sadanoshtha Bimbam could be split as Sa-dana, dana meaning to give, Oshtha Bimbam, her lips. So there is this, in Saundarya Lahari also we have seen this description of a mother feeding her young child with a slight fleck of beetle juice that she is chewing upon, so that vidya, that knowledge, that essence of knowledge can pass on to the child. So she takes a fleck of it and puts it in the child's mouth. So there is this context of giving, of nourishing. So in that sense, Sa Dana Oshtha Bimbam, her lips are red with that beetle juice which she provides to her children. Or also Sat Ana, Sat meaning the truth of creation, Ana is the face. That made a little less poetic sense here, so I went with this kind of a split. But that also forms the same words. Sat Ana Oshtabimbam, or Sada Ana Oshtabimbam also it could be, but that all of those splits do not make as much sense as Sadana, the one who is eager to feed her child that juice of betel leaves that she's chewing upon, and with the redness of that of the bimba fruit, a ripe bimba fruit, the one who has such lips. That is how my mother Sharadamba is, AdiShankaracharya says in this shloka. Now with this, that's a wonderful question, Rushilji. Why is the word pratibimba also? Pratibimba is a reflection. Bimba is a form, a fullness of form. Prati is opposite or a response to it. So if there is an image, there is there is a corresponding image to that. That is a reflection of it. So pratibimba is another word for a reflection in Sanskrit. Yeah, well figured. I want you to, always, well done, Rushilji. Always find words which you might already know. So if you find some word, so Asya or Indu or Avalamba or Prasada, where else you might have heard such words, so that it adds to your vocabulary. So yes, Pratibimba is from this Bimba itself. Now that we understand the words of the shloka, let's chant it one more time. This time you can chant it along with me. Try to chant it along with me. I'll do it slowly. Suvaksho jakumbham sudhapurna kumbham prasadavalam prapunyavalam sadasyendubimbam sadanoshtabimbam bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam. With that, let us now move to the second shloka of Sharada Bhujangam. And you will notice that 4 lines of 8 shlokas, 8 into 4, 32. Each one of these 32 lines has the exact same rhythm. Na-na-na, 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 na-na-na. That na-na-na pattern repeating itself 4 times. See if you can notice it now as I chant it once. Do not chant it along with me now. Just pay attention to how I am chanting it. Katakshe dayardram kare jnana mudram kalabhir vinidram kalapai subhadram purastrim vinidram purastunga bhadram bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. So I'm running a little out of breath as I say the last line, because I was used to splitting it in middle as bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam, but it need not be done so. It can be done in one breath by taking a deep inhalation before chanting the line itself. Bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. Let us look at how to chant the individual words of this shloka. The first word is Katakshe Dayardram. Make sure that the R is clear. You're not doing Dayardram or rolling your R's, softening your R's as you do in English maybe. But Dayardram. The next word Kare. Last word Jnana Mudram. This letter Jna, what is the right way of pronouncing it? I have made multiple explainer videos on it and a reel or a short on YouTube and Instagram as well. So check that out. It is not Gya or Dnya or Gnya as multiple regions of Bharat speak it. It is Jna. Jnan. It's not even Jna. Many people pronounce it as Jna, thinking that Jna is the correct way, but it is Jna. How that comes about, I have explained it. You can check that out. Otherwise, if you want to, you can come on Zoom. I don't know why we have still same old audience. Not that I'm complaining, Rukminiji and a new user, but we have many new members, guys. You can make use of this opportunity and come to Zoom. Anyway, this word is Kalabhi Vinidram. The whole thing becomes Kalabhir Vinidram. Next word Kalapaihi. Last word Subhadram. Purastrim. Vinidram. The next word is split as Puraha Tungabhadram. The word is Puras Tungabhadram. Bhaje. Again, this word is Sharadambam Ajasram or Sharada Ambam Ajasram. Sharadambam Ajasram. The last word is Mat Ambam, Madambam. I guess this line you must have gotten by now. I'll not repeat it every time from the next shloka onwards. So I'll now chant this whole thing line by line. Please repeat it after me. Katakshe dayardram kare jnana mudram kalabhir vinidram kalapai subhadram purastrim vinidram purastunga bhadram bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. We'll chant the shloka together one more time at the end. Let us now go to understanding the meanings of the shloka. And Shri Vidya ji had a question. Which chandas is this? It's in the name itself, Bhujanga Prayatam. Maybe you joined late. This video, will be available on YouTube again at the end. So you can watch it from the beginning to understand the entire context. But yes, Bhujanga Prayatam is the chandas. So the key phrase, again, for all the shlokas, because it's a recurring line, the key phrase remains unchanged. I always worship, ajasram bhaje, mat ambam sharadambam, my mother Sharada. Now how else is she? That is described in these 7 phrases of the shloka. They all attach themselves to this phrase here, which is I worship this kind of Mother Sharadamba. What is her nature? Katakshe dayardram. Kataksha, we have seen the word Kataksha. If you're a regular learner again with us, you would know this Kataksha we have seen multiple times. It is a sideward glance of the eyes. Not a full-on vision like up front, but like this, just a sideward glance. And how is just her sideward glance? Not even when she's looking at us fully, but even in her momentary glance, her sight is filled and moist with compassion. She has that compassionate mist, moisture. Not tears, but her eyes are moist with compassion. So, ardrata is that moisture. So, not full-fledged tears, but numb, जैसे बोलते हैं हिंदी में, आंखें numb है, with compassion. Kataksh, with daya. Katakshe dayardram, madambam sharadambam, ajasram bhaje. How else is she? Kare jnana mudram. Kara is the hand, and in her hand she has jnana mudra, which is the mudra of intelligence, jnana or knowledge. Kala bhihi vinidram. Now the word kala also means art, also means an aspect. It can mean in all her artful expressions. She's an incarnation of Saraswati herself. So in all her arts, she is always active, or vinidram. Nidra is inertia or dullness. Complete dullness is nidra. It could mean in her artful expression, she is never inert, and also in all her aspects, in all her manifestations, she is never inert. Excuse me. This phrase is kalapaihi subhadram. Kalapa is different kinds of acts in the world, different kinds of manifestations, different kinds of leelas. And also could mean the ornaments that are adorning her limbs. In many translations that I've referred to, they all said in her ornaments, she is adorned with auspicious ornaments, subhadra, bhadra meaning auspicious. But kalapa also has this context of her activity, her expression of her deeds, playful deeds, leelas. So in all her manifestations and acts in creation, she is auspicious. Purastrim, again some translations say she is the ruler of the Pura or the city, which is Shringeri or Shringeri. She is the presiding deity or Shringeri, so she is the Purastri, Stri meaning a woman, Pura meaning a city. But Purastri, Puraha also means forward. Excuse me, forward. Purushaha or Puram also means that city, or where was it? Purogati is progress. So Puraha meaning ahead or moving forward or in front, those kind of meanings. So Purastri is also it can be interpreted as the one who is foremost among women. She is she's the highest expression of the divine feminine. So Purastri can be understood in that context. Vinidra, we have already seen that she is without any dullness and she's always alert and never inert. And Puraha, we've seen the Puraha has come again. In front of her, Tungabhadra, the river Tungabhadra, which flows down south near Shringeri. So who has Tungabhadra in front of her. In Shringeri itself, it is Tunga which is flowing, but just in ahead there is Bhadra as well, both these rivers. So one can think of both of those rivers in her vicinity being in front of her. So Puraha Tungabhadram. So this kind of my mother Sharadamba, I always worship, is what AdiShankaracharya is conveying. Let us now, with the meaning in mind, chant the shloka completely together. Katakshe dayardram kare jnana mudram kalabhir vinidram kalapai subhadram purastrim vinidram purastungabhadram bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. Kripa Kataksha Dhorani. Hanji, exactly, in Shivatandava Stotram. There is Kataksha, we keep seeing the usage of Kataksha across multiple Sanskrit compositions. अच्छा है आपको याद आया. Kripa Kataksha Dhorani Viruddha Durdharapadi, something like that in Shivatandava Stotram. Kvachid Digambare Mano Vinodamastu Vastuni, I think, something like that. Let me not go on that tangent now. Let us move to the third shloka of Sharada Bhujangam. Once again, as I chant it, please pay attention to the chandas, the rhythm of it, which is a 4-time repetition of na na na, and also to the individual syllables of how they are supposed to be pronounced. Lalamang kaphalam lasadgana lolam svabhaktai kapalam yashashri kapolam karetvakshamalam kanatpratnalolam bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. Let us look at how to pronounce the individual words. The first one can be split as lalam anka phalam. The whole thing is lalam anka phalam. The next word lasat gana lolam becomes lasat gana lolam. This word is split as svabhakta eka palam. Whole thing is svabhakta eka palam. The next word is yasha shri kapolam. Yasha shri kapolam. This again kare. This is tu akshamalam. Tvaksha. The next word is split as kanat pratna lolam. Kanat pratna lolam. This line we have already been learning so far. Let's do it line by line. First line. Lalamanka phalam lasadgana lolam svabhaktaika palam yashashri kapolam karetvakshamalam kanat pratnalolam Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. We'll chant it one more time at the end. Let us now master the meanings of the words in the shloka. Once again, the key idea remains the same. Ajasram bhaje, I always worship. Mat ambam, Sharada ambam, my mother, Mother Sharada. How else is she? These phrases of this shloka add more context to AdiShankaracharya's description of Mother Sharada. She is Lalama Anka Phalam. Phala is the forehead. Anka is a mark. Lalama is that which is shining, resplendent. She has a shining, resplendent tilaka on her forehead. Lasat is once again playful, shining, resplendent. Gana is song. Lola is the one who relishes it, one who jives to it. Is Lola literally means gyrating or moving forward and backward. Is Lola is also named for a swing. She is the one who swings, jives, relishes. Beautiful, skillful song. Swa Bhakta Eka Palam. Eka is uniquely, and she is the only one also is meaning, and she is the one who always, so Eka is uniquely always this kind of a context. Swa is self, Bhakta devotees, Pala the one who protects them. She's the one who uniquely protects all her devotees, she who unfailingly protects all her devotees, or she is the only one who comes to the rescue of her devotees. Swabhakta Ekapalam, Yasha Shri Kapolam. And she is such, it is a child's imagination of his or her mother, that her cheeks, generally a mother looks at the child's cheeks and says, oh, such cute cheeks. But the child here is looking at the mother's cheeks and saying, oh, they are so resplendent and so gracious, that one of them is yasha, one is fame and the other is prosperity. My mother's cheeks, one of them is fame and the other is prosperity, he's saying. Yashaha and Shri Kapola are the cheeks. The next one, Kare tu Akshamalam. In one of her hands, she has a Akshamala, Rudrakshamala that she has, because she is, of course, the goddess of knowledge, and Rudraksha is a representation for sadhana and siddhi. So she has a Rudrakshamala in her hands. And Kanat Pratna Lolam. This phrase, in some translations, is under this phrase. They're saying that Kanat Pratna Lola is a description for her Rudrakshamala. It could also, in a kind of an interpretation, be a description for herself. However you want to take it, you can take it. Pratna is a different way of saying Puratana, that which is ancient, that which is timeless, since it's transcendental, it's been coming on through generations. Kanat is that which is shiny. And she is the one who is transcendent, who has been protecting her devotees through generations. Or this Rudrakshamala that she holds in her hand symbolizes knowledge that is shining and that is coming down through generations. So both these translations are valid. I prefer that she is the one who is transcendent and who is timeless and who has been blessing her devotees through generations. But Lola, once again, that which swings. So some translations say she has this shining ancient Rudraksha Mala which is swinging, which means it is being constantly used in and being counted using that Rudraksha Mala. So both these translations are apt. And AdiShankaracharya is saying it is these qualities and my mother with all these qualities, Mother Sharadamba, that I always worship. With this, let us now chant the shloka together now. Join along with me in the chant of the shloka. Lalamang kaphalam lasadganalolam svabhaktai kapalam yashashri kapolam karetvaksamalam kanatpratnalolam Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. With that, we cover the third shloka. Kanat, kan deeptau is the dhatu. Shri Vidyaji, yes. Kanaka is gold, again for a similar root sound. Kanya also comes from that same kan root sound. Kana as a sound represents that which shines. Kanya is the one who is resplendent. And nothing had to do with virginity and whatever else meanings that people ascribe these days. English is a very rudimentary language to translate anything. Kan deeptau is the Sanskrit root word. That kan, kanti, kanya, kanat, kanaka, all of them have that kan as a root sound. Once again, well done. I'm trying to do more offline sessions and have this kind of an audience. Online has this reach and many people being able to access all these sessions at once. But if there are students in front of me and give this kind of, maybe I can this kind of tidbits so that the class can learn something new. I wish there is some way I can give prizes out, or small a pen, a book kind of, or some points to this group kind of a session. Offline, we'll do it in Mysuru. How many of any of you in the stream right now in Mysuru? We're planning on doing that. I want to do it in multiple cities. We had one a couple of years ago in Mumbai, and that worked very well. Aditya Hridayam workshop we had in Mumbai. But namaskaram. Yes, of course, Saujanya ji. Yes, we'll do it in Mysore. We'll do it. Hyderabad, we will, but eventually. But I was just very happy to see Rushil ji and Sri Vidya ji give out those little tidbits of information which helps the entire class learn a little more. So yes, you are right. Kanaka is gold, and kanat is that which is shiny, all from the same root sound. Kanti, kan is the root sound there. Share passcodes are of your Zoom meetings as a token of appreciation. All right, you will stay back until the end anyway. So I think, but at the end I will tell you the password. But you could be creative and try and figure out the password. Every time the password is some or the other way related to what we are doing. It's an English phrase. This is 4 letters, starts with A. Let's see if anybody comes in. That would be your incentive, I guess. All right. 4 letters, starts with A, something to do with this composition. If any of you now drop into Zoom, that would be something very impressive. But pay attention to the shlokas now as we chant them. Do not go on that hunt. I'll chant the shloka now. Please pay attention to it. Susimantavenim drusha nirjitainim Ramatkiravanim namadvajrapanim Sudhamantarasyam mudachintyavenim Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. You see that constant flow of na 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 na. So I hope you notice that. And with that, let's look at how to pronounce the individual words of this shloka. The first one is Susimanta Venim. Make sure you're pronouncing it as na and not na. It is Venim. Susimanta Venim. The next word is Drusha. Not Drisha or Drusha. Or even Dhr. It is not dha. It is just the. Drusha. R is a vowel in itself. Drusha. The next word is split as Nirjita Ainim. Sorry. Nirjita Ainim. Airni is a word, which means a female deer. We'll come to the meanings. But Nirjita Ainim becomes Nirjita Ainim. The next word here is Ramat Kiravanim. Ramat Kiravanim. The next word is Namat Vajrapanim, which becomes Namad Vajrapanim. In both of these words, make sure that you are pronouncing that E as a long vowel, not Namadvajrapanim. That would change the meaning. Namadvajrapanim. This word is Sudha Mantharasyam. It is split as Sudha, Manthara and Asyam. This is Dha and this is Tha. There is a difference between Dha and Tha. Sudha Mantharasyam. The next word, Muda. Last word of the third line, Chintya Venim. And the last line is, we have been looking at it, Bhaje Sharadambam Ajasram Madambam. Let's do it line by line. First line, Susimanta Venim Drisha Nirjitainim. Maybe I should do this in tune. When I do it line by line, I'll do it in tune from now on so that you can repeat after me in the exact same tune. Susimanta Venim Drisha Nirjitainim Ramatkiravanim Namadvajrapanim Sudhamantarasyam Mudachintya Venim Bhaje Sharadambam Ajasram Madambam. Before we go into splitting the words and understanding them, AdiShankaracharya is infamous for trying to give you benefits without you realizing it. So there are these, one of the bija mantras for Sri Vidya Upasana is Eem. And you see this Eem appearing multiple times in the shloka. It is one of the bija mantras. Aim is specifically for Saraswati. Eem both for Saraswati and Lakshmi together in terms of attainments and prosperity through knowledge. So Eem is there. Tam Padminim Eem Sharanamaham in Shri Suktam, which we will look at in the Veda syllabus. But you see that Eem, so he is very tricky like that he makes you chant these bija mantras as a part of a shloka itself. So, but those kind of nuances are plenty and we can kind of keep deriving them from these shlokas, and the deeper we look, the more we might end up finding. But without that, just looking at the lyrical poetic imagery of what this shloka is trying to convey. Once again, the main idea is Ajasram Bhaje, I always worship, Mat Ambam Sharada Ambam, my mother, Mother Sharada, who Susimanta Venim. Veni is the tresses of hair. Simanta is the partition that is formed after you part the hairs for forming a plate. So the one whose hair is neatly parted like that, and we see this description of the hair partition in Saundarya Lahari as well. You can check out those shlokas. I don't know if we go into that description, it will be too long. But he's saying she is the one whose hair is neatly parted in the middle like that. And Drisha Nirjita Enim. Eni is, Enaha is a deer, male deer, and Eni is a female deer, a doe. And her eyes, in her eyes, Drisha Nirjita Enim, she has defeated the beauty of the eyes of a doe. So whose glance, whose eyes surpasses, not glance exactly, but the eyes themselves. Drisha Nirjita Enim, surpasses or defeats the beauty of a doe's eyes. Ramat Kira Vanim, so whose Vani, speech, is like that of a Kira is a parrot. So Kiravani is the beautiful call of a parrot, and Ramana and Ram as a dhatu means that which is delightful. Ramat Kiravani means whose speech delights like the call of a parrot. Namat Vajrapanim. Pani means the hand, And Vajra is lightning. Vajrapani is the one who holds the lightning as a weapon. And Namat is the one who bows down. So she is the one who is bowed down to by the one who wields the lightning as his weapon. So Indra. So the one who is even worshipped by Indra. Well done, Rushilji. I now do not give the password out to everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Zoom meeting. Okay. Good job. Bravo. Next phrase, Sudha Manthara Asyam. Asya is a face, we have seen it in a shloka before. Manthara is a vessel, and Sudha is nectar, whose face is like that, like a vessel filled with nectar. Muda is with happiness. Chintya is remembering, thinking, meditating upon. Veni is again locks of hair, tresses of hair, which some translations say, oh, her tresses of hair are beautifully meditated upon, which makes little sense. Veni also means a flow, or a stream. So, Muda Chintya Venim could here be translated as whose stream of knowledge, Veni. Chintya Veni is the stream of thought, stream of contemplation of knowledge, is joyfully meditated upon. So, Muda Chintya Venim could mean that. So, Susimanta Venim, Drishanirjitenim, or Drishanirjitainim, Ramat Kiravanim, Namad Vajrapanim, Sudha Mantharasya, Muda Chintya Venim, Madambam Sharadambam, Ajasram Bhaje. Forms the entire shloka, which let us now chant together. You can chant it along with me. Is Kiravani related to Girvani? That's a wonderful question, Srividyaji. I don't think so. Gihi is a different dhatu word on its own. It means words. Kira is different, Gihi is different. So Girvani and Kiravani are, as I'm very sure, 90% sure, are very different words. 10% I'd still, because of their proximity of sound and pronunciation, I would leave that 10% ambiguous, but 90%, both of them have very different origins. Susimanta Venim Drishanirjitainim Ramat Kiravanim Namadvajrapanim Sudhamantarasyam Muda Chintya Venim Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madamba Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madamba. With that, we complete the fourth shloka. We are going at quite a rapid pace, and also, as you see, the shlokas are not that lyrically complex. They're quite simple, oriented towards children, and much more heartfelt, so that even beginners of Sanskrit can understand and remember and emotionally connect with these shlokas. So with that, we will move to the fifth shloka. I'll now chant the shloka once. Others, please don't continuously try testing out with different passwords. I will anyway give you the password at the end of the session, so you need not worry about that. Only for this session. From the next one, we'll keep it only for members, guys. Let's not just to reveal the password in every Zoom call and every live stream, kind of a habit. Sushantam Sudeham Drugante Kachantam Lasatsal Latangi Manantam Achintyam Smareta Pasai Sargapurvasthitam Tam Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madamba Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madamba. Let us learn to pronounce the individual words. The first one is Sushantam. It is not Shushantam, Sushantam. Next word, sudeham. Next word, drigante. Again, not drigante or drugante, drigante. Last word, kachantam. This second line is one full word which is made up of individual words which are lasat, sat, lata, angim, anantam, achintyam. They're all merged together to form lasat, sallatangi, manantam, achintyam. This is split as smaret tapasaihi. Smaret tapasai. The next word is sarga purva sthitam. Last word, tam. The last line we've been doing, bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. Let's do it line by line in tune. Sushantam sudeham drugante kachantam. Lasatsallatangi manantam achintyam. Smareta sargapurvasthitam tam. Together, bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. Bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. Let's explore the meanings of the fifth shloka. Very simple, straightforward. As you can see, first two we've already done. Ajasram, bhaje, I always worship. Mat ambam, Sharada ambam, my mother, Mother Sharada. And her qualities further are described in the other phrases of the shloka. She is Sushantam. Shanti is peace, calm, harmony. So she is of perfect serenity and peace. Sudeham, she is of a beautiful and graceful form. Drik is eyes. Anta is the end. Kacha are hair. And Anta is end. So at the ends of her eyes, her curls of hair are falling forward. So it's a beautiful expression of how beautiful his Mother Sharadamba is. That her locks of hair are dangling down until the ends of her eyes. And her form, Anga, is like a lata, a creeper, which is again a beautiful lata, sal lata, and which is also very young and shining and resplendent, healthy lata. So lasat sal latangim, whose shining limbs are like a graceful creeper. Anantam, the one who is boundless without end, anta. Achintyam, the one who is beyond thought, whose form is beyond that which is physical. Again, these kind of interpretations by these kind of descriptions by AdiShankaracharya are to emphasize that the nature of the deity which is being worshipped is beyond the physical. While there is all of these beautiful, personalized, almost anthropomorphized, which means given a human form and worshipped in a humanoid form, the deity or the principle which is being worshipped as the goddess of knowledge is one who is beyond the realm of the physical. So she is endless, she is beyond thought. All of this cannot be something that is physical. So she is Ananta and Achintya. And Smaret Tapasaihi. Tapas is penance or building of tapa or heat or ushna in terms of energy of sadhana. So Tapasa is the one who does that tapas. And Smaret is the one who is meditated upon. And Sarga Purva Sthitam. Sarga is Srishti, Srijana, is creation. Before creation itself manifest in its material form, she is the one who was situated even before that. Sarga Purva. Purva is before. Sthita is the one who is situated. Tam, to that form of my mother Sharadamba, I always worship. That is the meaning here. Very simple, easy to grasp individual words. Keeping all of these meanings in mind, we will now chant the fifth shloka together. Sushantam sudeham drugante kachantam lasatsallatangi manantam achintyam स्मरेत्तापसैः सर्गपूर्वस्थितां तां भजे शारदाम्बामजस्रं मदम्बाम् भजे शारदाम्बामजस्रं मदम्बाम्. I hope all of you are finding the shlokas easy to grasp, and it's not just I'm rushing through. We as a community of over 1 million, 1.3 million people have gone through and mastered much more complex shlokas than this. So I hope this one is a cakewalk for all of us. The sixth shloka goes like this. Please pay attention to it. And I'm pretty sure if I ask some of you to chant this by yourself, you'll do an amazing job at it by yourself. But for now, please pay attention to it as I chant it. Then we can chant it at the end together. Kurange turange mrugendre khagendre marale madebhe mahokshe dhirudham mahatyam navamyam sada samarupam bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam. The words are very simple. First one is kurange, turange, mrugendre, khagendre, marale, madebhe. The next one is slightly complicated. Maha ukshe adhirudham becomes mahokshe This one here, mahatyam navamyam sada samarupam. The last line, bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam. Let's do it line by line in tune. Kurange turange mrugendre khagendre marale madebhe mahokshe dhirudham mahatyam navamyam sada samarupam bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam. Let us now analyze the individual words of the shloka. Very simple. The first two we have already been looking at for the past 5 shlokas now. I always worship Ajasram Bhaje, my mother, Matambam, Mother Sharada, Sharadambam. How is she? Adhirudham. She is mounted on top of her vahanas, the different kinds of vahanas on which she is manifest. This can be seen as different kinds of give me just a minute, guys. I need to take this call. This is kind of an emergency. Yeah, sorry about that. I hope I'm audible now. Yes, okay. So she is mounted upon, she is manifest as in many of her incarnations, her vahanas, different kinds of vahanas. Also, these could be different kinds of vahanas that her murti or an utsava vigraha is taken out on a procession whenever her processions and festivals are held. These are the different kinds of vahanas that she rides on top of, where Kuranga is a deer, Turanga is a horse, Mrugendra is a king of animals, a lion, Khagendra is a king of birds, an eagle, Marala is a swan, Mada Ibha becomes Madebha, which is an elephant in rut, and Maha Uksha is a great bull. So these have different kinds of stories, there is different kinds of symbolism, but I mean, one in Mahishasura Mardini Maha Uksha can also be seen as the Uksha or the Mahisha of Mahishasura Mardini, and Uksha also could refer to a bull where she is riding on top of a bull along with Lord Shiva. So these kind of correlations exist. So you could, so she is the one who's seen riding on top of different kinds of these vahanas of hers. And that Mada Sharadamba, I worship, AdiShankaracharya is saying. And Sada is always Sama Rupam. Sama is Samana, in equanimity or harmony or balance. And the one who is always in her full-fledged harmonious form when on the great night, Mahatyam Navamyam, on the ninth phase of the moon. So after she slowly grows in her effect from the first phase of the moon on Pratipada, just after Amavasya, as she is growing, growing through different phases of hers, from Shailaputri, the daughter of the mountain, to Brahmacharini, the one who has embarked on a tapas, to Skandamata, the one who has given birth to Kartikeya. So she goes through different kinds of those phases. She grows gradually throughout those 9 nights. And on the 9th night, which is the Mahar Navami or Mahanavami as it is celebrated, she finds full-fledged expression. And that on that Mahatyam Navamyam, on that great 9th night of a waxing fortnight, the one who is always equanimously established, Sada Sama Rupam Mat Ambam Sharadambam Ajasram Bhaje. I always worship my mother, Goddess Sharada, Mother Sharada. Simple words again. Let us chant the shloka together. Kurange Turange Mrugendre Khagendre Marale Madebhe Mahokshe Dhirudham Mahatyam Navamyam Sada Samarupam Bhaje Sharadambam Ajasram Madambam Bhaje Sharadambam Ajasram Madambam. Also, if you want to listen to this chant uninterruptedly in one go, it is already uploaded on YouTube, so you can make use of that video. It doesn't have any ads, so you can keep playing it. So you can make use of that video to learn all the shlokas in one go. Let's do the 7th shloka together now. Oh, I'll chant it first. Please just pay attention to how I'm chanting it, the rhythm of it, the pronunciation of it, the tune of it. Jvalatkantivanhim jaganmohanangim bhaje manasambhoja subhranta bhringim Nijastotra Sangita Nritya Prabhangim Bhaje Sharadambam Ajasram Madambam Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. Let's do the pronunciation of individual words. The first one is Jvalat Kanti Vanhim. Notice how we are saying Vanhim, not Vahnim. It is similar to how we say Brahma and not Brahma. So whenever there is an expulsion of air as Ha, we pronounce the letter after it and then expel that air as Ha. It's as simple as that. So Jvalat Kanti Vanhim. Next, Jagan Mohanangim. Here the E is Dirgha, is a longer vowel. In Vanhim it was short. In Jagan Mohanangim it is long. This one, Bhaje. The next long word is a combination of Manasa, Ambhoja, Subhranta, Bhringim. All of these words come together to form Manasambhoja Subhranta Bhringim. Even this is one single compound word which is made up of Nija, Stotra, Sangeeta, Nritya, Prabha, Angim. All of these words come together to form Nija, Stotra, Sangeeta, Nritya, Prabhangim. The last line, of course, Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. Let's do it line by line in tune. Jvalat Kanti Vanhim Jagan Mohanangim Bhaje Manasambhoja Subhranta Bhringim Nijastotra Sangeeta Nritya Prabhangim Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam Bhaje Sharadamba Majasram Madambam. You'll see that even the shloka is very easy to understand because the first two lines we already know. Ajasram Bhaje, I always worship. Mat Ambam, my mother. Sharada Ambam. And her 4 different traits are mentioned here below that. Jvalat Kanti Vanhim. She is like a burning, she's radiant like Jvalat, burning, Kanti, light shining, Vanhi, fire. So like a radiant burning fire, she is resplendent. Jagan Mohana Angim. Anga is again the body, her limbs, her form is Mohana, that which enchants, that which attracts. Jagat, this entire creation. Bhaje, again, I worship again. Manasa Ambhoja Subhranta Bhringim. Bhringi is a bumblebee, especially Bhringa is a male bumblebee, Bhringi is a female bumblebee. And he's saying, AdiShankara is saying, she is a Bhringi. She is a bumblebee, female bumblebee, the goddess. What kind of a bumblebee is she? Subhranta Bhringim, who is wandering, buzzing around very well. Bhranta, Brahmana is buzzing around. Well. Where is she buzzing around? Ambhoja, of course, a lotus. What kind of a lotus? Manasa, the mind lotus. So she is in the Manas. The roughest translation in English is mind, but she is that bumblebee who is wandering well in one's mind. Whose mind? In my mind, in AdiShankaracharya's mind, in the minds of tapasas, the one who are on their sadhana. So she is my mother Sharada is the one who is a bee that beautifully wanders across the lotus of the mind. So that is what this phrase means. And she is also Nija Stotra Sangeeta Nritya Prabha Angim. Nija is of the self, Stotra is praise. Different kinds of worship, different kinds of praise. Stuti or Stotra means words in praise. Sangeeta, song. Nritya, dance. Prabha, radiance. And Anga is a limb. I'm so sorry to go on this tangent again, but I just realized Sangeeta and song have that same Sanga sound. Something was either stolen or influenced, or something happened somewhere. I don't think this is coincidental that song and Sangeeta, somehow this correlation I never paid too much explicit attention to. Do you guys see it? Song and Sangeeta? I don't know if somebody explored this correlation already. I want to immediately look it up online. I know I'm going on a couple of tangents, but please allow me this. Song and Sangeeta. I don't know if I'm seeing... Nobody has apparently looked at this correlation between these two words. All right, I'll go on this Sangeeta and song separately by myself. And then if there is something substantial here, if there is a correlation, I'll come back to you guys. And that will be quite a revelation. But Sangeeta is song, yes. And Nritya, dance, Prabha, resplendence, radiance, and Anga is again her limbs, whose very limbs glow with the splendor and radiance born out of her own hymns. And what this phrase is trying to present once again is that the description of the goddess and the stuti or the stotra of the goddess and the form of the goddess are not separate things. Mantra and the devata are one. It is not that, devata is existing up in the sky and mantra is there to appease her and get those blessings. The mantra and the sounds that pertain to that form and deity are the nature of the deity themselves. And we use that to invoke and energize those aspects and those faculties within our own bodies and our own capabilities. And these devatas and their sounds, which are the one, are also present within. So AdiShankaracharya bringing in that subtle perception of truth, that I have that devotion. I look at her as my mother, and I worship her in all her physical attributes and her beauty. But her limbs, again, are shining and glowing and are of the nature of the words that describe her. You see that? I hope I was able to express this clearly. If it is confusing, let me know confusing. Otherwise, you can let me know that it is clear. I know there are a couple of questions. I'll come to them. These are not about the shloka. If there are questions about this 7th shloka, we can look at it. Otherwise, let us chant this shloka together. Now. Jwalatkantivanhim jaganmohanangim bhaje manasambhoja subhranta bhringim nijastotra sangita nritya prabhangim bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. With that, okay, let's come to these generic questions. Is this live? Yes, of course it is live. What is Bhujangam? Maybe if you have specific questions about it, you can come to the Zoom session and ask it more. Maybe elaborate on your question at the end. My pleasure. Thank you so much, Chandrimaji. Yes, this will be available. This is for many of you are not members, and this is on YouTube. This is absolutely free. Of course, it is available for the members. Members have these extra perks, and it helps us continue our work. So thankful, definitely. And tier 3 and above members have their own other perks of a direct Zoom call. What makes this different from other shloka stotrams? That is a generic question. This is on Goddess Saraswati. It is in Bhujanga Prayata. On Goddess Sharada, it is in Bhujanga Prayata Stotram. There are thousands of stotrams in our tradition. Each of them unique, of course. So it's not, none of the stotrams are common. So what makes this different? Every stotram is unique in its own right. My pleasure. Thank you so much. All right. All right. The last shloka, the 8th and the final shloka of Sharada Bhujangam goes like this. Please pay attention to it as I chant it. Bhavam bhojanetraja sampujyamanam lasanmandahasa prabhavaktra chinham chalachanchalacharutattankakarnam bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. The first word is split, it's one long word. It's split as bhava ambhoja netra aja sampujyamanam. I'll chant the entire thing very slowly. Bhavambhoja netraja sampujyamanam. Second line is made up of these words. Lasat manda hasa prabha vaktra chinham. Lasan manda hasa prabha vaktra chinham. Third line, all these three are just one word phrases or compound words with multiple words clubbed together. This is chalat chanchala, chalat chanchala charu tatanka karnam. Chalat chanchala charu tatanka karnam. Last line, of course, is bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. Let's do it line by line in tune. Bhavam bhojanetraja sampujyamanam lasan mandahasa prabhavaktra chinham chalat chanchalacharutatankakarnam bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam bhaje sharadamba majasram madambam. This is also an easy shloka to understand. There are just three phrases. There are just three lines, are just three long descriptions of the goddess of Mad Ambam, Sharada Ambam. And I always worship Ajasram Bhaje, my mother, Mat Ambam, Sharada Ambam, Mother Sharada, who is Sampujyamanam. Puja is, of course, worship. Sam is well, doing something well. So somebody is worshipping her well. Who? Bhava, Shiva. Ambhoja Netra. Ambhoja is a lotus, Netra is eyes. So Ambhoja Netra is the lotus eyed Vishnu. Aja is another name for Brahma. So by Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma, Sampujyamanam, the one who is worshipped well. Lasat, again shining. Manda is gentle, soft, slow. Hasa is smile or laughter. Prabha is glow. Vaktra is face. And Chinha is a mark. So the one whose face is marked by the radiance of a gentle, shining smile is Lasat Mandahasa Prabha Vaktra Chinham. Finally, Chalat is moving. Chanchala is that which is constantly moving. Chalat and Chanchala have the same Chala sound, which means Chalat is that which is already in motion. Chanchala is that which is very fickle in its movement, constantly moving. Charu, beautiful. Tatanka, earrings. Karna, ears. So the one whose ears are adorned with beautiful earrings that move gracefully with her delicate movement. As she is moving, Chalat, Chanchala, the dangling earrings are beautifully moving. So that is Chalat Chanchalacharu Tatanka Karnam. So with these three expressions, he brings the description of Mother Sharada's beauty and his adoration for his Mother Sharada at Shringeri to a close. But I would also like to impress upon you the metaphorical descriptions of all of these. In Saundarya Lahari, when we were looking at the beauty of the goddess, we also went through how even if it is the physical beauty which is being described, it also stands for the descriptions of the forces of creation at large and also the forces within the human body, which is the Adhibhautika and Adhyatmika, apart from Adhidaivika representations, which is the descriptions of the goddess in the deity format. So there is always these three interpretations going on simultaneously, these three layers of truth in any expression, especially of AdiShankaracharya. Here though, there are interpretations where one could say, when AdiShankaracharya describes the beauty of the dangling earrings of Mother Goddess Sharada, these earrings correspond to the Shabda Tattva, and it is the sound of creation itself. These kind of interpretations can be stretched, but that would be just stretching it. In Saundarya Lahari, it is a little more evident that the descriptions clearly refer to something else. But here, it is innocent, and he is calling her his mother and describing her beauty and is emotionally connecting with it. And attaching those kind of, earrings mean Shabda Tattva, this something else means this, and the redness of her lips or something else. This would be doing injustice to this poetic expression, so we'll not go into that so much. But if something like that dawns upon your mind and your interpretation, there is absolutely that layer of truth to it. So I would leave those kind of explorations to your own curiosity. With that, let us chant the 8th shloka together with these meanings themselves, that it is the dangling earrings of the goddess that AdiShankaracharya is describing beautifully. Bhavam bhojanetrajasam pujyamanam lasan mandahasa prabhavaktra chinnam chalachanchalacharutattanka karnam bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam bhaje sharadambam ajasram madambam. With that, we finish all the 8 shlokas, and at the end there is this phrase that we end the stotra with, which is iti, thus Srimat Paramahamsa Parivraja. I'll chant it slowly so that you can follow it along. There is no rhythm to this. This is just a conclusion line that thus the stotra is complete. This is how it goes. Iti Srimat Paramahamsa Parivraja Shri Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Pada Shishyasya Shrimat Shankara Bhagavata Kritau Sharada Bhujanga Prayatashtakam Sampurnam. It is not that this line has to be chanted before one. The 8 stanzas that we have seen are what make the crux of the stotram. But this phrase, iti sampurnam, is thus is complete. Iti is thus, sampurna, it is complete. Sharada Bhujanga Prayata Ashtakam. Ashtakam means 8 shlokas. Sharada Bhujanga Prayatam is Bhujanga Prayata is the name of this poetic meter, and it is on goddess Sharada. And who is it composed by? Srimat Shankara Bhagavata Kritau. When Srimat Shankara are said together, it becomes Srimat Shankara. But if it is split, it is Srimat Shankara Bhagavata Kritau, composed by Bhagavan AdiShankaracharya. Who is he? Srimat Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharyasya. Parivrajaka is the one who travels and wanders and roams around, is not established himself in one place. So that is a Parivrajaka. And Paramahamsa is the one who has reached the highest state of enlightenment and highest state of yoga. So that kind of an Acharya, AdiShankaracharya, who is Shishya, of whom Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Pada. So AdiShankaracharya's guru is Govinda Bhagavat Pada. So their lineage and the rishi behind the shloka is being remembered, and this is an expression of gratitude towards AdiShankaracharya. Let us go through that verse one more time. There is no rhythm or anything to this. It is just said as prose. Iti Shrimat Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharyasya Shri Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Pada Shishyasya Shrimat Shankara Bhagavatah Kritau Sharada Bhujanga Prayatashtakam Sampurnam. With that, we have finished this evening's live stream successfully, so we'll not have to do it tomorrow. These are simple shlokas, so I was not sure if we would need 2 sessions, so now we do not. The Veda course is still on, so the previous live stream of last week has the syllabus, the tools that we are going to use, including Swaradarshini, Akshara Shikshaka, and the syllabus the structure that we are going to follow, and all of that. So go through that, and if you are interested in joining us in that journey, you can register yourselves through the link in the description of this video too, which is just bit.ly/Veda, VEDA -TSC, the Sanskrit channel. So if you're interested, you can register, check that out. If there are any final questions regarding these 8 shlokas, we can look at them now. Otherwise, we'll continue on the Zoom call. And thank you so much for being with us. Rukminiji and I think Rushilji also will give you priority for the practice. Oh, we have multiple others. Oh, welcome. I had not noticed. Welcome. Ishwaranji, it's been a while. Ivaji, there are a couple of new faces. No other questions. Thank you for answering my question. You're welcome. Yes, the rhythm scheme here is quite beautiful. True. Kausalyaji, you're already in the Zoom call. What link are you asking for? My pleasure. You're welcome.
Udayji, we would like to have the link for the Veda class. I missed it last week. I appreciate that very much.
The link to the video. Okay, let me quickly type it out here.
Yeah, and the recorded session. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Just give me a minute. Okay, we can do that once the YouTube session is done. You're welcome. Namaskaram. All right. If there are no further questions on YouTube, guys, we can end the stream. But there is a bit of a delay, so we'll give them some time to catch up. So here is the first video of the Veda course that was live last week. And if you are already members on Patreon or YouTube, you would have received links to join Google Classroom directly. But if you feel like filling up the form, and that would help us also with tracking students and their progress, you could fill up this form if you feel like it. I'm typing out the link to that form also in Zoom chat and in YouTube chat as well. And the short link to this is bit.ly. Here. It's the same link, it's just this is shorter to remember. All right, thank you. All right, no questions. Yeah, this is a relatively simple and easy to understand stotram. What is a little more complex is Shyamala Dandakam that we had done 2 years ago. If you feel like it, if you want to explore that also for this upcoming Vasanta Panchami, you can do so. But for this year's Vasanta Panchami, we will be we have done this exploration, and I'll also be posting these individual shlokas in that reel format that we have been doing, which many of you have appreciated, where I have my hand literally moving across the shloka as I'm chanting it live, and there is an over the shoulder view, so that it's as if you're looking live as I'm doing it on a table. So that kind of helps you and gives you that immersive experience of chanting the shloka with me. So those short videos and reels are present on Instagram and YouTube. Do check those out. And you're very welcome. Yes, thank you so much, Karthik ji. My pleasure. Once again, in the next 3 days, it is Shishira or Magha or Shyamala Navaratris. So wish you all an extremely auspicious 9 nights of the Divine Feminine in this season. With that, I'll see you in the next live stream. And if you are already in one of the Google Classroom environments, we'll have the next session of the Veda course this Sunday at 8 p.m. IST. So I'll see you in that session. Otherwise, on YouTube, for that will not be on YouTube. That will only be for the course participants, and that is free anyway. But you need to register, and you can pay as you wish. But our YouTube explorations will continue further in the next sutra that we would explore. So until then, Shubhratri, Namaskaram, Punarmilama, Namo Namaha.